Hey guys, welcome on Find for People. My name's Grant Goals. We're talking about, this is part 2 of the series Personal Training 101, and it's on the platform, obviously, Find for People. It helps you find the best in health, sports, and fitness. Today, guys, we're going to go to part 2, which is all about setting up your business. So you've made the choice, yep, you've got the qualification. How in the world do you get started? We'll talk about that straight after this. Hey guys, we're just talking about how professional we are here, which is high-end professionalism.
It's the main thing about this. Why everyone watches.
If you're wondering where we are, we're at the top penthouse of the highest building in Dubai. Not really.
Which is?
Burj Khalifa. Okay, so guys, sorry, let's get back on track. We're talking about Personal Training 101, we're talking about how to get started, and our bro Saul has come back to tell us, well, he's not come back, we're actually doing part 2 straight after we did the part 1.
I'm back.
I'm back. Walked around the table, had a stretch. So where would you want to start as far as how do you get started? You've gone through the whole career pathway. You've got to the point where you've managed personal trainers. So you've got this experience, these years. We've talked about the knowledge.
So yeah, quick recap then. So basically, you defined roughly where you want to go with your career and what type of trainer you want to be. So on from there, then you're going to look at best places to potentially go and work. Depending on your situation, then you're looking at do you go full-time with a gym straight off the bat, or are you going to maybe do some part-time or even potentially do some free work for them as a mentorship or an internship or something like this to line you up? So that's sort of where we got to, right? And then post that, so say you're in one of these places, so now you're working, what we're saying full-time? Yeah.
Let's create a situation. Let's say, full-time.
Yeah, cool. So say you're working as a full-time trainer. For most people, especially if you're looking out here, but most other places in the world, that probably means your first few years you're out of commercial gym. Yeah. Right? So...
sorry, before we go on, do you recommend that?
Me personally, I mean, like I said, I can only talk from my experience. Things have changed a lot because I'm an old bastard now, aren't I? But,
wise.
Yeah, that's what I should have said. I found lots and lots of value from having started in the commercial setting and working up through. A couple of times I've had my own business, and then also, first time I set my own business, I literally changed countries. So I went to Australia doing a bit of travelling, was looking at work over there, and then I ended up moving out to Dubai with my now wife. Yeah. And so we've set up over here. So I didn't know the industry at all over here. The safe bit for me was then to go back in working for somebody. Fortunately, with my experience and stuff like that, then I went in and I went into a bit more of a one-to-one environment straight off the bat. That's also what I was a bit more used to then. It didn't make sense for me to go commercial gym again. But yeah, is there value in that? Are you going to get good experiences? Are you going to learn a lot from people that are more experienced, more educated than you? Hell yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I think there's definitely space for it, but then obviously you've just got to be the caller on that, really, of when is the best time for you to get out of that and start going into a bit more one-to-one. Yeah. But then, crikey, there's, I think...
crikey, I know that for a while. Crikey.
But no, funny fact to you, the busiest personal trainer in the world works for Fitness First and works out to the Bergman Centre, and he's doing something insane like 250 sessions a month.
What?
Exactly. Legit. Ask Rob next time.
And how do you get the most busiest trainer in the world title?
Because there isn't anybody else that's training that amount of people on an hour-to-hour basis.
So you're Guinness Book of World Record?
It must be.
Yeah, okay.
No, but it's
awesome.
Straight
Well,
up. So it's funny. Like, you don't need to leave that space to do really fucking well, right?
Yeah, totally.
Something to think about. You don't need to be moving on. You don't need to go and work for like the whatever the most elite gyms or the ones that everyone's talking about.
Oh, Fitness First might be listening to this, bro.
Yeah. No, it's true. And especially for Dubai, Fitness First are, bar none, the best facility if you're looking facility in Dubai. Yeah. So if I was a young trainer coming over here, sure as hell I'd probably be looking at that.
Totally.
What I'd be doing is sticking my head under the noses of all the people that are above me.
Therefore, yeah.
And saying, look, basically teach me. You know, I want to learn. You know, but then that's my mindset, right? If you're trying to accelerate past that, I'd suggest it would be a bit daft and probably wouldn't be the best thing to do. But equally, if you want to try and get past that, you're going to need a mentor, or you're going to need someone that's going to aid your upskilling more than just doing a few online courses or reading or stuff. You know, you don't.
Before we jump too far down this rabbit hole, let's go back to what do you need to be set up?
So general setup. Ooh.
Ta-da!
It's just so weird. It's just right there. Anyway. cut.
In-house joke.
Yeah. No, so like, I think big thing is like where you're working out of, right? Are you working for someone? If you're working for someone, then your setup is actually relatively cheap, right?
Yep.
So if you're working for commercial gym, your name's probably already going to be up on the wall somewhere. If you've got free slots, there's probably a sales team trying to get people in for you. You've got the opportunity to go and sell yourself on the gym floor, but either you're working out, so you're showing what you know, doing your own training, or through obviously you either being there to chat with people, just literally hanging around on gym floor. We've all done that.
Yep.
Equally, obviously, doing training people. So if you're training people and people are seeing you're doing a little bit different or getting better results, it seems to be a bit more structured than what's going on. Again, it's a starting point, isn't it? It's just because that's all it's going to be. You want people to come to you, have those conversations, and then you can sell yourself. Right?
Yeah, totally.
So that's great if you're in a facility.
Yeah.
Like where I was working at just previously in Body, amazing if you're looking for, like, if you're a junior trainee, you can get in somewhere like that. They're literally feeding you, right?
Literally.
So, literally
spoon feeding.
Yeah. So they've got the whole setup. They're, if you just focus on the training, they're literally giving you the clients. So if you've got space, their whole thing is trying to get those spaces filled.
Totally, yeah.
Crazy
Done, happy days.
Right? So it's like happy days. So what do you actually need? Nothing. Just turn up. Be willing to work the hours. So as long as your diary's open, you can be as busy as you want to be.
100%.
You know, so...
Let's go. I'm going to even more detail, guys, because there's a big question people do, and they go like, okay, I'm going to be a personal trainer, and people say, yeah, the first question is like, how do I get clients, which is great, and we'll get into that in a second. But before you can sell or you can market yourself, you got to know what you're selling. And, there's someone comes up to you and asks you, oh, I'm going to pay you, let's just say $100, whatever. And what are they going to get for that $100? So my first thing when I go to someone is like, how do you set yourself up? Is like, well, you need to know what you're going to offer in the first freaking place.
Oh, yeah. And literally, again, this is why we're a part 2, right? Is it literally dials all the way back to the part 1 at the very, very beginning. What we said is, who are you? What coach do you want to be?
Totally.
And then the more education you've got, the more knowledge. For me, like, the better versed you are in something, the easier it is for you to talk about.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Right? People who are stuttering and having to look at their phone and doing all of this and they're not really sure, they're not as well versed in it as they probably like to think.
100%, yeah.
But that's absolutely fine because, crikey, I'm not going to sit here and you ask me a million questions. I'm not going to know the answer to all of it. There's absolutely no way. There's no way. That's just not how it works, right? So, yeah, the better versed you are at it, then I think, again, when it comes to selling yourself, for me, I've never sold myself. I'm dreadful at selling myself. I absolutely hate it. But what I am very good at is saying how I can help someone.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, awesome.
That's the sale, right?
Yeah.
So, because that's what they're coming for. They don't want to know if I'm a nice guy, if I'm what sports I've done. No,
you've done 100 push-ups, oh, well done.
Yeah, ideal. Like, no one's ever come up to me and say, how much do you bench? How much do you deadlift? What sport did you used to play? Like, no one.
Literally.
Maybe it's because I'm a skinny weed and I can't bench and I can't deadlift and I can't do any of that. But no, but you know what I mean, very few times is someone going to come over and that's a real interest, especially if it's going to be a long-term client.
Yeah, 100%. Here's just advice quickly that what you offer and how you're going to deliver is the two things you need to understand for you and your business before you do anything else as far as sales and marketing. This is my golden nugget.
Yeah, great point is what are you going to offer and what you're going to deliver to go back onto it. Sure as hell better align.
Well, that'd be pretty funny. But common mistakes made, right? No, common mistakes. No, but I agree with it.
I'm seeing how many people have done it. We were chatting off camera, weren't we, in regards to like the online space and to quickly go in there. But that's one of the biggest things. So you're offering one thing,
Yeah,
what you're giving is a complete other. And
yeah.
you see that all the time. And
This was laughing at though, yeah.
No one actually knows.
Yeah.
So you know, whatever, I see you've got six pack, you're a good looking lad, whatever, and you're all over Instagram, you've got 1 million followers. I assume straight away you know what you're doing.
Yeah, totally.
Do you? Do you not? I don't know. Same with like in the gym. Is the biggest monster in the gym who's lifting all the weight the best personal trainer? Doesn't mean he's not. It doesn't mean he is.
100% both sides of it.
Is the best looking girl in the gym the best trainer? Don't know.
No.
You know? So,
probably not most of the times.
Yeah. So
cool. So let's just we're going to take a break shortly, but before we do, the takeaway, I suppose, what's the main takeaway for your setup from just the first part of it is that you need to make sure that obviously you are in the right space to help you flourish and have the right setup to make you flourish. So whether it be a choice of going to a commercial gym, which is obviously, I think we both agree that it's probably the best way to give yourself the experience, to give yourself the knowledge, and to give yourself the understanding, not just in training, but also business setup. So if people are already providing you leads, you can learn from those people how to generate leads in the first place.
And you've got to remember, the big companies have got huge sales teams, huge management teams, huge training teams, like all this stuff there. So again, the switched on sensible guy will go, hold up a minute, I've got all these different people at my disposal. Like I said,
cha-ching.
Hell yeah, because the people don't think of it like that, do they? And they go and hide themselves away, and they don't go and speak, and then wonder after 3 years why they've not really improved and gone anywhere.
Happens all the time. Guys, don't make the same mistake. All right, we're going to come out and carry on with this after this short break about the application, so explaining it. Brilliant. Straight after this.
We've all been there. Hours searching the internet, asking friend upon friend, making call after call, trying to find the right fitness professional, health specialist, or sports coach. So much time, energy, and even money spent only to find more problems than solutions. Well, now, with the Find Fit People platform, you can find all the available professionals with the skills you need in an instant. We've removed all the barriers by establishing a community of many different skilled health specialists, sports coaches, and fitness professionals that are alerted immediately once you posted your request. In under 30 seconds, you can attract multiple professionals with the right skills to help you achieve the result you want. It's simple, fast, and free. Find us online at www.findfitpeople.com or download the Find Fit People app from Apple or Google Play stores so you can find fit people today.
Hey guys, welcome back to Find Fit People. My name is Grant Goes and I'm joined by Saul Rogers. We're talking about, we're doing personal training 101 and how to set yourself up. Today is about their business setup. What do you need to do? Tick off the checklist. We've kind of gone over about being in a commercial space, but let's say you're not in a commercial space, you're going to do it on your own. Here's a good thing not maybe not a good thing. When I was first starting off in fitness, I was in a gym facility. I was young. I'm not trying to blow my own thing here, but trumpet. Not to say trumpet. And that I was a bit arrogant, and I thought, I could just go run straight over to do it, and I didn't really take on the advice that I should have. So here's my advice to you. Take on these advices that we're about to give to you because we've been through it. 20 plus years, just under 20 years of experience right here. So as an individual, let's go into that side of things. What would you recommend someone do to set up?
Yeah, first things first is the joy of working out of facilities. You've got facility.
Well, this is pretty essential, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yep.
Essential. So, biggest thing for me is first of all, where are you going to do this? Are you going to do it out of your house? Say legally here, because obviously there's all these legal requirements, right? Legally, you cannot personal train people out of your home.
Yep.
It has to be a registered business, right? Mm-hmm. So that automatically means you're either going to be going to apartment, hotel, or an actual gym box facility, right? Yep. Joy of it is freelancer's dream is Dubai in lots of ways, because there's every single apartment pretty much block will have some form of facility.
Unreal.
So again, if you're a little bit more versed in using, happy days, because you can literally just go in, crack on, and then obviously you're just going to have to make best use of what you've got.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
And so that's awesome. If they haven't got facility they can use, obviously knowing we can't do it out of our house, then of course you can look at, and some people are doing it out of parks, some people are doing it on the beaches. Again, you have to be a little bit wary on the legal perspectives of that, because you're not allowed to do it in everywhere. And all these different places, but some you can.
Yeah.
So then, of course, it's making sure you've got a vehicle, making sure you've got some equipment, so you can actually go and do it. I suppose you could do body weight stuff potentially, but you still got to be able to get around. So
yeah, totally.
All things to weigh up, and then also eventually, whoever you're training, hopefully, will obviously have adapted and progressed enough.
Yeah.
For body weight's probably not going to do it, especially for what most people's goals are.
I'll lose weight, I want to get big. Okay.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, but progressive overload states.
Yeah.
Literally that you need to progress, right? And so it's quite tough if you're doing, especially for like body comp type stuff, you're going to need some form of added resistance a lot of the time. So then you're going to have to look at gyms. Even that is quite good over in Dubai, because a lot of the commercial gyms, I won't say why, but will allow a lot of people in to go and train, so you don't have to work for a gym to go there. So you can basically freelance out a lot of these studios, and there's absolutely tons of them all over Dubai. So you've got some chains where you can literally, there's different sites across the whole of Dubai, so you can actually work for technically out of one gym, like Warehouse, say for instance. Warehouse has got multiple sites across the whole of Dubai.
Yeah,
if you want to set yourself up out of a place where you can literally,
multiple facilities,
anywhere, boom, like somewhere like that's ideal. Alku's obviously is absolutely riddled, isn't it, with gyms, anything from your bodybuilding, all in bodybuilding type place, CrossFit boxes, through to like strength conditioning type places, even like Fit Pro have got a small space there and so again, depending on the type of trainer you are, the type of equipment you need, the type of clients you're getting, all of this needs to get factored in and sorted out before you go into right? Because it's all well and good. I might have 20 clients, but we've got no one to train.
Online, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the big thing, and actually just weighing up again, like the downside of being a freelancer is obviously it's the initial payout is going to have to be there, right? Yeah. So you've got to go realistically, or at least if you're going to do it properly, probably should be registered with someone. Probably should have like public liability. You definitely. I love
you using the word probably.
Probably, well, because a lot of people aren't, right?
Do it.
Yeah, for sure. 110%.
Just do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's just over here, you think like how many people have died in Dubai in the last year? I know of 2. Not actually know the people, but I've heard of 2 people who have died in gym facilities. If you're training that person and it's your fault and you haven't got insurance, you're in big trouble, right? Yeah, and you do not want to be going to jail.
Yeah, totally.
Hell no. So, going off that, so making sure obviously then you've got a vehicle on top of your insurance, on top of being registered probably with reps. Then once you've got all of that and got your space to be training out of, then obviously you can probably start advertising yourself a little bit. If you're out of a more commercial space, a warehouse, a Train SF, a 7 or whatever it might be, good thing is it goes back to almost like being in a facility again, doesn't it? Yeah. You can hang around a bit, you can get to know the sales team, you can go and chat to a few people who are just working out by themselves, try not to step on the foot of all the other freelancers, right?
Offering free trainers.
Especially that absolutely, the big massive bears who are like security guards, you do not want to step on there. That's it. But no, so, thinking of like general setup, those are the things you're going to need to do before you've trained anybody. Yeah. Like without thinking about that, I mean, you're a little bit silly, right? Because and it does cost. Fortunately, fuel's even cheap over here, so again, it doesn't cost you a huge amount to be getting around, but it's still going to cost you. Totally. So all of this should also come into your price.
What documentation should I have?
So look, obviously, going back from our part 1 discussion, there's tons and tons of different certifications out there, isn't there? Anything from your 1 days through to your 1 years, or potentially more if you're looking at degrees and different bits and pieces. So first of all, you need, in my opinion, you need a personal training certificate and qualification, right?
If I get everyone's book, that's everyone's thing. There should be a qualification, not just as a opinion, but everyone.
You'll be shocked.
You can't be a fucking doctor without it.
And at gyms I won't mention, but like very highly recommended gyms in most places, most cities I've worked, you'll be shocked at the amount of people that aren't qualified still training people. It's pretty scary, right? Off the back of that,
we'll do an unveiled one or uncovered later.
Yeah, exactly.
This facility uncovered.
spies creeping in. But yeah, no. So you want to have you want to have some quals, and off the back of that, then you should really be this. Several different registers around the world, isn't there? Ones I've always worked with is you've got like reps.
Yep. Registered exercise professionals.
Exactly that. And then there's a new one coming out. Well, not coming out. It's been out a while in the UK.
Yeah.
Which is.
I was mentioning the other day and I've forgotten about it. Spears.
CISSM,
yeah. Something like that. I don't know.
And basically they're owned side by side, but they do a lot more of the operational facility, the operations of the facilities, gym facilities and stuff like that side of things as well. Good thing is, whichever one you're going to be with, I think you've got the Bodybuilding Association over here, which is a slightly different one. To get a visa over here, so if you're going to have it, you have to be with
another
one,
thing.
right?
Yep.
You have to have your certificates attested to be able to get that visa now as well. So, again, those are like your basics, bread and butter. Then going back to what I was
First
saying,
aid? Sorry, there's another one.
First aid. Literally words out of my mouth was going to be like, then the next two on from there, you're looking at obviously some form of public liability. Which I'd already mentioned.
Yep.
And then obviously looking at like some first aid CPR, potentially doing defib and things like that as well. Assuming those are the things that you might have. No point in having a defib if you haven't got one and you're on the beach, right? But all of these things potentially need to be thought about, don't they?
Totally.
If you've got those and you've got all of that there, it's quite a nice package. There isn't many places that wouldn't take you on. I mean, I know from doing a bit of freelancing and stuff, in my time, that most places over here they're going to say Emirates ID, your certificates, your public liability to train in most gyms.
Yeah, totally.
They'll ask you if they're not asking for that. I'll probably question it anyway. Is that the right place for you?
Yeah.
Right, just in case anything were to happen. Right. No, it's true.
That's true. It's like, just blows me how many people don't do it. And
Well, I mean, I don't like to. I won't name names and places.
But
no. But I mean, you see it a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
You see it a lot, and that's pretty worrying. And also, I've done very well in my career for people doing dreadful jobs with people.
Yeah, totally.
And then they end up coming to me.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Tip my hat. No, but I mean, so you don't want to be that guy, right?
Yeah. No.
So.
Well, okay.
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, those are the base things.
Cool.
Obviously, there's quite a bit of information there, but actually, you could bang most of that out. Once you've got your certificates, got your qualifications, you can bang most of that out in a week.
Yeah, totally. Easy setup
for sure. But again, a bit like choosing a course. Get around all the different gyms. Get around to different spaces. If I'm taking you on as a client, I want to go and see the space that you're potentially talking about, and then just being honest with people. Look, if I go in there and it's real spit and sawdust, there's nothing really there, and I'm thinking, look, 1-2 weeks down the line, once I've got to move a bit better or whatever, this is not going to be suffice. Then I'm going to have that conversation with you there and then before I'm starting you, because if I say, oh yeah, no worries, I'll take 50 sessions off of you right now or whatever, boom, I'll train you out of this space, and then 2 weeks later I'm like, oh mate, you need to come and join up this thing, it's going to cover you another 4.5k to join X gym. The relationship is
tarnished
down the swan.
Yeah, totally. So, it does massively. Okay, so what about the trainer? What can be like? There's the requirements you've gone through there. What about would you recommend a trainer have, whether it be documentation or equipment or what? I mean, for example, being a PARQ, they should have one of those or some type form.
About, like what they would need to do with the client.
To be successful, yeah. To like what things would I mean? Should they have a diary? Should they have a website to market themselves? Should they have an Instagram account? Should they have?
So I mean, let's be honest. Do you need an Instagram account? Do you need a website? No, that's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. Initially, right? There's lots of different places going around it. Joy is this day we've got like our walking, talking computer in our pocket all the time, right? So yes, it definitely pays to have something, but again, it is potentially pretty time consuming at best.
Yeah, totally.
And then it can be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
As well, and then you still might not know anything about it. It's a whole different realm, isn't it? It's like I'm no IT expert, right?
You and me both, bro. It's so, like, jeez.
Yeah, that's it. Again, like going back, I know I'm plugging you guys, but then that's also the great thing with like what you're trying to achieve now with your.
Bro, you can plug as much as you want. Just keep going, bro. Just keep going.
But then that's great because then for those type of people, like even like myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't like selling myself like that. So like actually having this Instagram where me with my top off doing exercises or me trying to sell what I'm doing with my clients, type of clientele I'm working with,
Yeah.
to be completely frank, none of them want to be on social media. Most
Totally.
of them haven't even got social media accounts themselves.
Nice.
So, I mean, yeah, good luck.
Strange,
If there's probably one or two people like a video and get it on social media, you know? So I'm not going to look that great because it's the same few people telling me no one's interested in that.
Totally.
So, yeah, that's it. But, yeah, I think obviously then basic setup of what you actually need to start then training someone outside you've got the basics that we just spoke about. You know, whether you like old school and like we probably used to have writing all your programs in
diary,
know, on paper, on the diary, you know, back of your palm. You know,
must remember pick up some milk.
under milk, of course, because the milk was more important back then. No, but you know, like you should have something. I mean, when I used to work for Nuffield back in the day, they literally had your program card. So every new person you had a program card. So boom, you didn't think about it. You just used to go and file them. They were all left there on the floor so people could go and pick them out and do what they needed to
brilliant.
leave. So even that, like, is a basic idea.
Yeah.
But that's good. But yeah, of course, having something that you're going to be able to document what you're doing with them is going to be pretty important.
Totally.
And then, of course, I think this is going to be more into our part 3, but then it's like, then you're going to look more at like the initial assessment process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll go through those parts. Something like that.
Really
3B.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5. Depends how much I talk.
Okay, it's cool. No, awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, like obviously something to document. Again, having a phone in your pocket's really handy. But then if you grab a tablet, if you've got your laptop, if you've got anything, you can quite easily make notes. You've got to think again about how that comes across as well. Are you the guy that's on your phone the whole time while your guy's doing reps? Probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
Equally, if you explain to them, look, I've got my tablet in between sets whilst you're still having a bit of an hour and now having a breather, you whack in the reps and
details and then,
sets, reps, and etc.
There's applications out there as well that you can use, but there is a good point that you brought up about like perception of if you've been on the phone texting your friends, being uploading information that's actually for the clients.
And again, you know, it goes back into this whole like setting good habits, right? You're picking up your phone and you're seeing things ding, 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 coming off. Even that's drawing you away from the attention of what should really be going on. Right? And someone's paying you X for, right? Totally. So you need to just weigh up, again, the type of trainer you want to be, how you're going to go about things, what works best. For me at home, I love jotting everything down. I literally have still got the old school jotter, essentially. I jot everything down. I love all the notes and stuff. If I'm out and about, I've got my phone. I've got spreadsheets basically with absolutely everything that's going on. So each client has one. But again, it depends what works for you. You have to find out.
Totally. Let's put this into a bit more specific. So 1 is a place. 2 is the equipment, whether it be home or in the gym. 3 is some documentation, whether it be a pad to write things down on, whether it be a card. An application, something like that to be able to track and to assess. What about side of like when it comes to marketing? I do agree you don't need to have Instagram. You can have social media or websites, other things like that. If you're looking to go down that line, you want to put the money into that, but really on the floor experience, whether it be at a gym or be at a space, or even if it be like if you're in a community, and here in Dubai is a good point. That you go to social events where you can show yourself. You don't have to have that Instagram account kind of thing. You just go and talk to people. Did I miss something?
I was going to say, but here's a funny thing. And I mean, you can say if you think I'm wrong here, but I mean,
wrong.
Damn it! Give me a chance. But like, what is the number 1 selling tool which your trainer never has to do?
Do you know this one? I know this one. Word of mouth.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you're doing a fucking good job and you're a fucking good person who actually gives a shit about the person you're training,
you do great.
That's it.
You do
really well.
Absolutely.
That's it. I've got an Instagram account. I've got a Facebook account. It's all family pictures. It's me, my wife, my friends, my brothers and sisters, whatever.
Totally.
There's nothing on there about training. Do I ever make anything off the training side of things because of that? No.
No. Yeah.
Have
it's
I always
so
well
true, so true.
Predominantly word of mouth, yes. So do you need it? The answer is no. Can it help? 110%.
Yeah, 100%.
But you have to be that way inclined. You have to be that minded, and you have to spend
probably be millennial.
Exactly. I'm not.
Okay, just following on from that. If you don't, let's say you don't have a social media account and you market yourself, you're getting word of mouth out there. Great. What about things like uniform? Or
oh yeah, great one. And yeah, completely forgot that, because that literally goes back in there with having a facility, having a car, whatever.
yeah.
We were joking off air about me being naked here, because that makes me feel more.
No, you weren't. What are you talking about?
Anyway, no, but
He was running around the table.
Ooh, so yeah, hey, I lost.
Awkward.
I lost. Do you remember that? Oh, if you lost at pool, you had to, you know.
Oh, true. Yes. Yeah. Do you know one? Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, big thing with that. I've completely lost my thing. Thinking about running naked around the table. Classic. Where were we, bro?
Well, we're stuck and you were running around the table naked, but we were talking about uniforms and should you have one, should you not have one?
Definitely have some training kit, right?
Mm.
You know, and that's where I was going with this. Of course, you've got to come. You're not going to wear a shirt and tie in a gym.
Yeah, totally.
Are you? So having something you're going to feel comfortable on, but then also probably portrays what you're trying to do and what you're about. Of course, having like your big baggy basketball gear like we used to wear back in the day probably doesn't give you necessarily that great image.
Yep.
Equally, like having something that's torn and smelly and horrible, you know, is probably not going to be great either. But something, you know, again, there's many different brands out there. It doesn't really matter as long as you're comfortable. You look relatively smart.
Totally.
I think you're all good to go. Beards are in now, so like you can be a bit rough.
CrossFit beard, eh?
I just can't grow one.
Yeah, right. You trying for a year?
Yeah.
That's a good point, because when you say uniform, it doesn't have to be branded with your name, or I mean, you might have coach on the back or something like that, but definitely I would recommend, if you're looking to solidify yourself as a trainer when you're being seen, because word of mouth, we talked about being the number one way to market and develop and grow your business, is that when people see you, that's part of word of mouth. They see you training, they see the way you're dressed, the way you look, the way you act, and we're about to get into this in a second, but yeah, the uniform doesn't necessarily mean polo with long pants with the right colours and stuff like that, but what it does mean is imitate the persona you want to get people to take on way. So probably not bare, if you're doing let's say weightlifting and you're trying to do it in bare feet or something like that, most instances won't be the best way to go down or her thing. But
we said it in part one, is like, don't say one thing and do another.
Totally. Which is too common.
You aren't going to sit here slamming X, Y, and Z and then go off and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
By the way, I do train in bare feet. Just so we do know. I train, not training others. So branding, when you're setting your brand, so another way to make sure you set up your business is the brand. We just talked about uniform, other things as far as branding yourself, because...
So again, it really comes back to who you want to be, who you want to be portrayed as. Right?
Kim Kardashian.
Actually yeah, why not? That's it, done.
Grow your booty.
Finish there. No, but yeah, so like, you know, what type of coach are you? Where do you want to go? Who's the type of people you're going to be training? What type of facility are you working out of? Where you sort of see yourself going long term with all of that bundled in together?
Yeah.
That's going to be the important part, which comes into that. So you don't want to be something strength and conditioning if you're a personal trainer.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Weight loss and
yeah, that's it. You don't want, you know, we could go on and on. You see it all the time, don't you? Weight Watchers, you know exactly what it's about, right?
Totally, yeah, 100%.
You know,
people are going more inclined these days to those specific niche points. Just kind of look into, we've got a few minutes left, so wrapping up the side of setting up your business, there's another point, and I'm just trying to add some words in here so I get it back into my thought process, because I've actually forgot. There's a really good one too, Jeepers. When you're setting up your business, well, oh man, Saul. I'm just like, what was it? It'll come to me. You go road to about something. What from you? What are the points from you?
No, so yeah, setting up a brand is quite interesting, because this is what I'm actually doing myself right now, right? So then I've actually, first thing I did is went out and spoke to about 3 or 4 different people in completely different industries, and said, well, what do you think about me? Asked for a bit of feedback on me, sort of said where I felt I wanted to go and what I was felt I was good at, and then asked them to sort of refer back to me, and then I'm using that for basically not just the name of my business, but then going to be using it for all my branding and bits and pieces moving forward. So I think that's quite important part of it, actually, because of course you may think, all right, I'm this, but then reality might be something very different. Right? And I remember a good friend of mine, my first client when I moved out here, Henry, he's pretty plain and simple to me. Me and him had some back and forth about what I was going to call my business. And he said, man, the brand is you. He said, stop trying to do some generic names and all of this stuff. He said, the brand is you. If in 3-4 years' time, it's not just that,
That's how it's gone. Yeah.
They said it's going to be you. And so I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So, I've been in the industry for a long time, and then I was still like, oh man, you make me feel so stupid. So, whatever. But that's it. And you're the brand, so then sell yourself.
Yep. Actually, guys, when I've done a lot of consulting for clubs and individuals, that is probably one of the biggest issues these people face, and it's the simplest thing, because at the end of the day, when you're trying to show yourself, the more times you repeat, like it's no good me saying, "Oh, my brand is get big soon" or something like that. But my name's Grant, and that's the brand. The brand is Grant. Grant goes, or something like that. So when you're doing that, if someone repeats you, the brand is often, you want people to repeat the brand as often as possible. So
it needs to be simple, right?
It's simple.
Look at it best on Apple. I mean, all right, let's not even go, get down that route. But you look at, it's all one worders, isn't it? Apple, Amazon.
Totally short, simple, to the point too.
Even that, fitness first, Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
Like, all of this
explains the brand
exactly,
within.
You know what it is, Nuffield Health.
Totally.
Okay, cool. So you know exactly what it is, right?
Exactly. Way to go. I've actually just remembered what I was talking about. One essential thing you need to have in place is a plan. Any business has it. You need to have it too, whether you're freelancing, whether you're going to go to the gym, the plan of what you're looking to do. And when we come down to plans, I talk about goals, set timelines, set a plan in place to know how you're going to, or strategies of what you're going to do, what you're going to play, what you're going to action when you're setting up your business. Because if you don't have that, you've run around in many different circles, you end up going in many different directions, and you don't end up doing probably the thing you want to. In fact, and this recently, a good way to explain it was actually from Kobe Bryant. He was just, there was one message I got from him, and it was about, that's the guy that he was talking about. His ambition was to be the best basketball in the world, which is amazing. But what he also did was that he knew the direction he was going, and his plan, the plans he made was based on how to become the best basketballer. So there are things that obviously wanted to come into his life or into his realm where it would have taken him away from basketball. He knew how to say no to all of that stuff. And anything he brought in was just about how to be the best basketball in the world. And same with your training. If it's to be a great strength and conditioning coach, then you say yes to all the things that help you get in that direction, or to help you action in that way, in that pathway, and you say no to the things that do not. So have a plan there.
And it's funny because these things become quite, in a way, it's quite a lonely endeavor, isn't it? So
massively.
We know from the basketball realm, same with Michael Jordan, they were not the best liked people. On the court and with all the fans and everything, these are the best players in the world. It's like the best thing to play with. I've read so many of their autobiographies and different books, and I'm like, if you don't fit into what they're trying to achieve, see you later. And they'll have, like Jordan and Kobe were the same. They've got the people who run the teams on their back. These are franchise players. So it's like if they say, look, this guy's not cutting the mustard, or he's not on board, see you later. When it's just you and your own industry, like SaulRogers.com or whatever it might be, it's a little bit easier because you're making the calls, but then you can still choose to go out and go to brunches every week. You can still choose to sit playing Clash of Clans.
Level 100 or something.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how you choose to spend your time. And I think that's the joy of being a freelancer, because you can choose what you want to do. But again, if you're...
distracts you from where you're trying to achieve.
If you're really trying to go somewhere, then that's it. And some of the best companies, they're not the best liked.
No.
But they're getting where they want to go, and they're happy, right?
That's success at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Guys, part 2 of Personal Training 101. Myself, Grant Goes, and Saul Rogers. Guys, again, if you have questions, comments, chuck them in the comment section down below. Again, the details, Saul will be on here as well. You can reach out to him. He does charge for mentorship, so you can hook him up with that as well.
Do I?
He's about to. Part 3, we're going to go further into it, and we're going to go probably this will be once a week, these videos have been released. So by the time you get this, we'll have part 3, and part 3 is going to look at the details of establishing the right PARQ or pre-questionnaire, the details of setting up the right business plan, the details of setting up the right equipment based for what you're looking to achieve, and even looking at selecting the right mentors and stuff like that. So we know all these different pathways, but anything that you would like us specifically covered to make sure we do cover it, please let us know in the comment section down below. Bro, always a pleasure. Thank you very much, man. Brilliant. Till next time, guys, remember, check out the Find for People application available on Google Play and Apple Store for Android or iOS. And the lovely producer has got the right video now on there to show you about that. So, till next time, guys. One job. Take care. See you later. Peace.
We've all been there, hours searching the internet, asking friend upon friend, making call after call, trying to find the right fitness professional, health specialist, or sports coach. So much time, energy, and even money spent only to find more problems than solutions. Well, now, with the Find Fit People platform, you can find all the available professionals with the skills you need in an instant. We've removed all the barriers by establishing a community of many different skilled health specialists, sports coaches, and fitness professionals that are alerted immediately once you've posted your request. In under 30 seconds, you can attract multiple professionals with the right skills to help you achieve the result you want. It's simple, fast, and free. Find us online at www.findfitpeople.com or download the Find Fit People app from Apple or Google Play stores so you can find fit people today.